Okay, I think we are live. Welcome back to my group. Welcome back to my Facebook page, wherever you are watching this. Today, it's a kind of cloudy Monday. I heard that the air is not the best to breathe in Las Vegas today. I'm not sure exactly is this a cause because of the fires in California or something else, but it definitely doesn't look good outside. I was hoping actually that it will rain finally. That will be the first rain in the summer in Vegas, but that might be not the case. But anyway, welcome back. My name is Ania Szostak. I'm a wellness coach. I teach people how to find balance through emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual health. I look at the person as a whole, and we look at all of those areas to make sure that all of them are in balance so the person can be in balance. So today we have a very important subject, and actually subject that few people requested. It's about emotional balance. So if you haven't watched the other videos regarding mental balance, that will be very much connected. So if you're watching this live, that's great. If you're watching this on a replay, put in the comments replay. If you come in, say hi, tell me who you are. I see that somebody's watching, I'm not sure who. If anything, introduce yourself and hello. So if you haven't watched the video about mental balance, please watch it because that is very connected with this one. So let's not wait anymore. Let's start talking about emotions. So as you probably guys know, we are kind of very much affected by our emotions. Most of our actions and most of our decisions are made upon emotions. We would love to say that we don't do that we think very rationally and we think with our brain and not our heart and not our emotions. But most of the time we make a lot of decisions and a lot of actions and make a lot of choices because of our emotions. So I mentioned in the previous video that our emotions kind of are triggered with the thought. So first is the thought that is triggered by five senses, that is triggered by memory. Then it's a feeling. So the feeling is very often triggered by a memory or five senses, which is vision, hearing, taste, smell, and touch. And then the feeling happened. Of course, when we have a lot of negative thoughts, there is a huge possibility that we will have a lot of negative feelings. If you guys agree with me, put thumbs up in a comment section that I know that you kind of agree with that when you have negative thoughts, you're also experiencing negative emotion. And of course, when we look at this on the other side, when we have positive thoughts, we have a positive emotions. So I want to talk about this because this is a very important subject and we often kind of don't pay attention to it, that we react, we make decision upon our emotions and where they actually coming from and how can we regulate them. So I talked in the other video about the mental balance, about how to regulate thoughts or how to change them, how to nurture the positive thought and how to stop the negative thoughts. The same we'll talk about today. So I want to share like example, and I want to go really raw. And what I'm saying about raw, it's going actually deep. So I want to share my example that actually recently happened and how that kind of goes with the thought and then the feeling and then what you do next. So I think that was like a few weeks ago. I just kind of started posting videos on Facebook and on YouTube. It started because of the coronavirus. I've been working in this field for many years, but I never went kind of like on a social media. So this was totally brand new for me. It was, of course, stressful, and a lot of emotions was related, a lot of thoughts was related to it. But somebody made a comment on my video, one of my videos, saying that attacking my person, but they didn't attack the person. Actually, they attack a lot of things, but the only thing I read and the only thing I heard in my head was that they attack my hair, that they attack my how I looked. So my how you see me from outside, not who I am inside. And that was a shock. And that was obviously nothing positive to read about myself, to see about myself. But that triggers something else. And that's what I want to talk about. Because that somebody attack how I look visually, right? My hair, my skin, my weight, whatever that is a one thing. But the second thing is that I didn't feel any emotions regarding those words. What it hurt and what it affected is my memory. So it brought the memory when I was struggling badly with my hair, when I, in the past, lost a lot of hair and I was almost bald, when my skin was full everywhere with acne. I had full face and full neck full of acne, and I didn't know what is happening to me. I was struggling with my weight, I was struggling with my mind, and that's what it triggered. So those words were not by itself painful, but those words brought the memory how I felt when I was struggling with that. And those emotions were feeling lonely, feeling lost, feeling hopeless, feeling helpless, feeling like I am alone in all of this, that I don't have enough support and I don't have an answer, that I don't know what is happening and nobody is there to help me or tell me why this is happening to me. So when I read those words, it's not the words what made me feel terrible. It was the memory. It was like I went back to my past and I didn't feel what is happening today, that this is not anymore me, or I am not struggling anymore with those issues, but it brought up Anya, who was struggling years ago with that and all of those emotions related to it. And that's very often what happens, that there is a trigger that brings up something that is important to us, something that is painful to us, something that we believe it's true about ourselves, or a memory of a very strong emotion. Rather, this is positive emotion or it's negative emotion. And in my case, that was very negative emotion. It was a lot of fear and loneliness, all those very low emotions that take person very much down. So that's why it's so important to evaluate that, to look at it, that what is it? Is it today or is this my past? Because now, okay, I saw that, obviously I saw that past and I felt the emotion. I felt the past and it was like right in my heart, right in my stomach. But then I had to say stop, because the thoughts start happening and then the emotion is happening. So thought was very quick like that. And then right away the emotion, the pain, the loneliness, the not understanding what is happening. And I had a choice to stop that thought and stop the emotion and look at it, that emotion, look at it from outside, like, okay, what is the reality right now? Why this is hurting me so much? What is the past feeling that this is reminding me of? What happened in my past that this is so strong right now? And I was able to evaluate that very quickly. It took me only like 10 minutes to actually get myself back on track. But this was like a hit, like 2x4 in the head. And I have to be honest and raw here, because that's what is this about, because that's what is happening to us. But I looked at it and I said, okay, what is this is reminding me of? Why this is so painful? And I went back. And I went back and thought of, I remember those moments when this was so painful, when I felt that way. And those words reminding me of it. So what now? So I took those, that this is the past, that this is not what is happening right now. And obviously also take all the knowledge that I have about behaviors like that, about situations like that, about what is right now. And is it true that I still have problems with my hair? Absolutely. I will always have problems with my hair. Not maybe as bad as in the past, because that time was really, really bad. But it's my genetics. I will always struggle with that. But I remember that it's not anymore so bad. And I am working on it. Now I know what is triggering it. And now I'm doing something to make a change. And even if it's not perfect and I have this luxurious, beautiful, long hair, I know that I am working on it, and I know that it will get better. And if it won't, that's what it is. And I have to accept it. And looking at that and kind of processing that with myself and my mind and my heart, to recognize it, that this is something that is a process, that is not perfection. Then recognizing and thinking about it, everybody has a right to opinions, to say things about us. This person had a right to judge me. I'm putting myself out there so people can judge me, and people have that right. The same, I have a right to not accept that. And I didn't. And that's when we make the choice what will happen next. Also, to recognize what is happening. So when somebody says something about you, because very often we are triggered by other people's opinions, other people's observation or words, it's good to look at it. What could be causing that the person will say something like that to me? First, they have a right. I will give that person that. They have a full right to their opinion and to express their thoughts. Second, do happy people, accepting themselves people attack other people? When do we attack other people? When do we give unhealthy feedback? That is not constructive. It's actually unhealthy and hurtful. When do we give that feedback to others? And I know from working in counseling that usually is somebody that is struggling by themselves and it's alone in it. So the only thing that they know is how to react to their emotions. And sometimes reacting to the emotion is to hurt somebody else, so that other person also feels similar to them, because they need somebody to relate. Also, what else? It's that we have to look at ourselves and accept that sometimes there will be people that want to hurt us. Sometimes there will be things that happen in our life that will trigger those emotions. But what are we going to do about them now? And whatever you translate to yourself, I always tell my clients, if you don't know yet how to translate, how to process this to yourself, grab a translator. And what I'm talking about is emotional and mental translator, or a translator period, is the person that will look at it from outside. and be able to help you to process that with you. Because everything is about perception and how we view things. Because, and I learned this actually from my intern, so thank you, my intern, Raluca. She gave a great example how sometimes it's good to look at it, is that if somebody says something to you and they will say, you are a green bush, are you going to accept that? Realistically, you know that you are not no green bush. So you are not going to accept that message. But in this situation, the person was kind of right. Yeah, I don't have the best hair. I'm not, beautiful, I don't know, a model. That's okay. So we accept things that we kind of relate to, that we kind of felt sometimes similar to it, or at least in the past. And that's what we accept the messages. But if we always just say, I am not a green bush, so you have a right to call me green bush, but I am not one, and not accept it, that is a very simple exercise to not accept feedback that is inappropriate. So it's not a healthy feedback. It's basically feedback to take us down, to take us to the very low emotional state. So I hope that we can together here share those emotions, share those experiences about how much we have actual strength and power over what hurts us and what doesn't. And I know that this will be hard to hear. And every time I say that to my clients, they are not the happiest to hear that. But I want to tell you guys the honest truth. Nobody can hurt you with their words. Nobody. Nobody has power over your emotions. Nobody. Only you have a power of accepting it, the message, or not. And when you accept that message, then they hurt you. When you don't accept the message, they don't. But of course, there's another area that there is a need to talk about, is the emotions that coming from within. So nobody said anything to us, but just they were brought up by, again, some type of trigger, something we saw, something that happened, some situation, and we go to those very negative emotions. And again, we have to utilize the skills or translator to help us with that supportive person that will help us to walk us through it, to process them. Because it's very easy for human beings to go the path of negative. And by using the negative thoughts, feed those negative emotions. And then, unfortunately, create a lot of negative consequences, which is negative choices, negative decisions, negative actions, and very, very much important is how this affects our health. Because our emotion very often affect our health. And what I am talking about here is how they affect our gut bacteria. Because negative thoughts and negative emotion will create stress, will create depression, will create anxiety, and that will trigger the body to go to the stress mode. And when the body is in a stress mode, then the body is not digesting food. It's focusing basically on deal with the stressor. Then what is happening to heal, to detoxify, to function. And body is focusing on that. So now, if we are in a stress mode, we will consume some food. That food is not going to be digested. We are killing our good bacteria that are responsible for digestion because of the stress. So we're creating very vicious circle of being unhealthy, because now we have that food that is not being digested, that is becoming a toxin that will be all over our body, that our body will have to deal with. Those toxins will create more bacteria that are responsible to deal with the toxins, or that are being fed by those toxins. So it will create a lot of physical problems. And those physical problems, now I mentioned that in also other video, that our second brain is our gut. So then when our gut start being affected, now the gut is not producing hormones like dopamine, endorphins, and again, it's bringing negative hormones, or it's not producing good hormones. So now we are being depressed, we are being more anxious, we are being more stressed, we are losing our faith, we are losing our hope, and the circle starts all over again. So if you guys have any questions regarding this subject, or you need more tools or tips, please put them in the comment section. I would love to talk about it. This is a subject that we can talk for months on end, because each situation, each moment creates different emotions. And of course, we also are different. Like I talked about it in the other videos about body types. What body types is prone to different emotions when it's out of balance? So please write your questions, write your comments, share them. Let's talk about it some more, because especially in this very stressful time that we are going, like the whole world is going through, we need support. We need to be each other's translators. And it doesn't matter what is your profession. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. You are human beings, so you have emotions. And sometimes, even not sometimes, therapists also need translators. Therapists also need help to deal with emotions. So there's nothing wrong that you feel them. It will be wrong if you don't. So again, thank you so much for listening. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Put comments, put questions, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.